So, it's my 26th birthday today. Yo, crazy to think, man. I feel like I'm getting old, even though I'm not even, like, well, I mean, depends how you look at it. Some would argue I'm nearly 30. Others would argue I'm not. The point is, it's my birthday today. And I have this habit of every year on my birthday, I reflect the past year, note down my learnings, and see how I'm going to improve for the next year. And some of those learnings I share with you guys. So let me finish on my run, and then we can sit down and have a birthday chat and maybe a cheeky cigar. Hey bud. Hey bud. I'm back home, selected a cigar, as some of you may saw, from my small humidor. That was a gift from my beautiful fiance. So, you leaf lovers would know that the cigar I selected was a Perdomo 20th anniversary. Now, Perdomo is widely known for just being consistently great cigar across the board. But the problem with that, hey, no. Come here. I think now, after taking a pause before I started making a video to feed the dogs, now it seems like it's going to start raining, so I have to hurry up. Because I can't smoke indoors, I can only smoke outdoors. So the type of cut I'm doing today, there are three primary cuts. There is a punch cut, this is a punch cut, just literally draw a hole in the middle. Then there's a V cut, which it kind of like gives you a V slit. And then there's the standard guillotine cut, which that is just a straight plain cut. This is a new cut that came along with the humidor that my fiance bought me. So I've been just using this for now because I really enjoy it. It's a little bit difficult to get in. You kind of have to be gentle with the cigar to make sure it doesn't break. And voila, there we go. Just as simple as that. Now we plop it out, and there we have a beautiful punch cut, as you can see over there. Very good draw, actually a little bit looser than I would like. The reason I'm making this video is because it's my birthday. Now, what I have here to pair with my cigar is just a normal instant black coffee. I'm not really a big alcohol drinker. I used to be, but I've cut it down a lot, mainly for health reasons. So I'm going to try light this with a soft flame, but I'll probably have to move to a jet flame or a blue flame because I am outside. Oh God, it's raining quite hard right now. Anyways, so alright, I'm going to move the operation. So let's see, after the fourth try, if I can get this right. Oh, where did I put my lighter now? There we go. So like I said, I'm going to try with a soft flame, but I'm outside, so it might not work because there's a little bit of wind. So I do prefer soft flame, just because like the ritual feels more sincere of lighting a cigar versus a jet blue flame, which is a torch flame, and you can burn the leaves a lot easier with a jet flame. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have to move to the jet flame. So, like I said, the reason I'm making this video is because it's my birthday today, and I have this ritual of mine where I sit down, reflect on my birthday of the past year, what went wrong, what went well, what I'd like to change about my current position in life, what needs to change in order for that to happen, and then I typically like to share that. So let's get into it. Now, I'm not going to make this a whole long video because I feel like I've already gone a bit too long, and who likes watching 10 to 15 minute long videos nowadays? So I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes. So I would say, look, there's been a lot of things that I could talk about that has happened to me over the past year. Good things, bad things. But I really just want to drill into two main lessons that I think I've learned this past year. And it may sound that a lot of things went wrong, but actually no. Like overall, if you look at the my life's trajectory, just the way I've lived it, what I've done, it's been pretty good. Like, you know, I became a very serious amateur triathlete, did well in running, traveled to what's it now, I think 11, 12 countries, met my fiance, got 2 dogs, or she already had a dog. We got a dog after that together. Moved into a very nice house. So a lot of cool things have happened. But with that, a lot of also, you know, harder, more struggle type things have happened, especially in the last year. And the two main things that I've learned is that, number one, you are your own worst enemy. Number two, the key to happiness is progress. But it's not just any progress, and it has to be a progress you are satisfied with. Just give me a second, let me take this first puff, and then we can carry on talking. Just wanted to touch it up. The flavor is already so, like, potently good on this, like incredible. But one downside that I already can pick up is this straw is so loose, so loose, which makes it hard to get a decent volume of smoke in and a more like concentrated volume of smoke in. So that might be a downside already. And I have noticed that about the Perdomos. They seem to be very loosely rolled. Now, I've never had one of these, this specific Perdomo, but the overall Perdomo, they have great flavors, but they seem to have very loosely rolled cigars, which I know some people like. I prefer slightly tighter packed, just so that you have to strain for the draw. But overall, very positive so far. So the first thing that I mentioned, you are your own worst enemy. A lot of us, we struggle to find accountability in life, or to take accountability. It's a lot easier to put the blame on someone else than on yourself. But if you look over your life and, you know, ask yourself look at the times that things genuinely went wrong, whether you got fired from a job, your business lost money, you got injured, or whatever. How much of what happened was to do with someone else versus something that you directly screwed up on, and however you acted just made it worse? Like, take a second to reflect, and then you might start seeing a pattern where you almost self-sabotage yourself. And even if you didn't in the moment that it happened, the way you handled it afterwards, or the way you recovered from it, you could have also self-sabotaged yourself. Me personally, like, I had built a outbound agency, and I had run it successfully for about 8 months until I started losing clients. This was 2 years ago, and since then I've just been in this like negative rut where I've just kept on clinging to the past, my past failure, and like feeling self-pity for myself. And because of this, I've sabotaged myself towards any potential other opportunities that I could have come. You know, I could have just built from scratch again. I could have just started with all the lessons I learned, but no, I let myself sink into the self-sabotaging habitual habit over the last 2 years that just never went away. So I truly believe you are your own worst enemy. Like I said, with this already, I can see the draw is very, very loose. Yep, we got. And the second thing that I mentioned is I do think real happiness comes from, or sustained happiness comes from progress, because you can hit yourself with cheap dopamine all the time, right? But that's just going to be temporary. Lasting happiness, I think, comes from lasting progress, and it isn't just progress in anything random. It has to be in something that I think you enjoy. It doesn't have to necessarily make you money. If it does, great. That's just an additional benefit. But the key important thing is it has to be something of meaning to you, something you're studying, something you're building, a business you're working on, a race you're training for, a sport you love, something that you can't stop thinking about and that you're slightly obsessed with. That is what you should progress on, because if you can do that, then it's not going to matter what happens. It's not going to matter if you work a job you don't like. It's not going to matter if, you know, bad things happen all the time. It's not going to matter, because the thing that matters the most to you, that has the most meaning to you, if you keep on progressing in that, nothing else is going to feel like it's a drain. It's just going to feel like, oh, it's just another thing that's part of life. I'll give you an example. Remember how I mentioned I was a triathlete? For those 2 years that I partook in triathlon is all that mattered. And I progressed incredibly. My bike became better. Like, I was already a strong runner when I started triathlon, but my biking improved like crazy, my swimming improved like crazy. And these were things I had to work hard on. For a swim, I hired a swim coach. I joined a swim school. For the biking, I just, worked hard myself, created my own training programs. And the progress I got from that was progress that it's very hard to find that amount of joy from anything else, because the progress was there. It was real progress. It was lasting progress. It was something that had meaning to me and mattered to me. So, oh great, look, I just cracked a cigar. Oh, freaking wonderful. I'm not having a day today, am I? Just because I'm more focused on making this video than smoking the cigar. Oh boy, hopefully this doesn't ruin it. Anyways. So like I said, look, if I have to look across my whole life, there's nothing I really regret. The one thing that I would say I regret, okay, two things, is I tend to not treat people well always, especially people close to me. I tend to put myself first. I'm very selfish, and yeah, this leads to, you put a facade up, especially there's a lot of people like myself who you put a facade up of being such a good person, but then you often screw over the people closest to you. So that's the one regret in life. The other regret I have in life is not being consistent with something. Like triathlon was the only thing I was really consistent with, and building my agency. But the rest of the time, I've just jumped all over the show. So despite having lived a very good life, like I said, traveled the world, built the agency, was into triathlon, was into running, was into surfing, hiking, mountains, just everything. Or horse riding, owned horses. Despite all that, when you come to the age now of me, 26, and you look back, you're like, all of those things you did was fun and it was awesome, and I would never change anything for the world. But what if I just stay consistent with one single thing or one single field while living that life I loved? I think things would have been differently, and then I would have had probably more lasting feeling of progress and more lasting happiness, instead of jumping from one dopamine to another. So as I said, number one, you are your own worst enemy. Number two, the key to lasting happiness is progress in something that has meaning to you. So yeah, that's it for today, or for my birthday rant. I'm gonna go continue enjoying this cigar and this coffee, and I'll see you next time. I'm trying to be more consistent with these YouTube videos. I will try my best to take you guys into how I do things, what I do, how I'm trying to rebuild my agency, and yeah, hope to see you guys on the other side. Peace.